What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name is Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, if you missed our video from a couple of days ago, we'll make sure to link it at the end of the video. We covered a brand new full plot leak from Avengers Doomsday and coming from a new Twitter scoopster that we hadn't covered at the channel before. Now, that same source is back today with new details about specific screens and the form of the film and how it all leads to the end of Avengers Doomsday and actually explains the title. Now, as we remarked in that video, just because someone is a Twitter scoopster doesn't mean that they've been around like my time to shine hello for the last 8 or 9 years while we've been doing this kind of work at the channel. Basically, that is to say, every time there's new Avengers movies, new Twitter scoopsters come out of the woodwork. We don't have a track record to look back on to know whether or not any of the information is viable. But even though this account seems new, they're already followed by some major scoopers in the game that we cover here at the channel. That is all to say, while taking it with a grain of salt, we've got to cover this newest leak for Avengers Doomsday because not only does it seem ultra logical, but as I said moments ago, it actually goes a long way in explaining what Avengers Doomsday actually means. We're breaking it all down, but first I want to tell you guys briefly about an opportunity to come meet me, say hi, and check out my band. We will be announcing more dates across the US for 2026, but on November 15th, 3 weeks from today, we're going to be playing in the greater Tampa area. Tickets are cheap, only $15, but extremely limited. I'll be doing a casual meet and greet when doors open and after the show, so come by, say hi, check out the band. It's a great time. There's a link down in the description and comments, and we'll see you in Tampa on November 15th. Okay, so this latest scoop is coming to us from the Twitter scoopster Majestic. You guys can follow them over on Twitter at Majestic_UCM. Again, very active as of late, no proven track record. Take that as you will. They posted this possible spoiler for Avengers Doomsday, quote, "I was told that Avengers Doomsday will feature a very interesting element, a global timer that appears several times throughout the movie, counting down to the final incursion." He then offers some additional details, quote, "Apparently Reed Richards, Shuri, and Beast all team up to build a device capable of tracking the exact moment when realities begin to collapse. This timer is shown as a reoccurring visual detail, like the locations in Endgame and Civil War, but this time marking, quote, 3 days before Doomsday, 2 days before Doomsday, presumably 1 day before Doomsday, until Doomsday." Now, as I said during the prologue, this is the meaning of the title, that when there's finally an incursion, which sounds like it's between either the 10,005 and the 616, or maybe the 828 as well, when the incursion is finally going to hit, that's Doomsday. That's the actual climax of the film. Everything up until then is a basic countdown for them to try to save the realities, a la the storyline they're drawing directly from in Time Runs Out. Now, obviously, while they're not the first directors in the history of cinema to do this, the Russos really pretty much set a standard during Civil War and following Avengers films with those title cards, basically letting us know where the heck we are when a story is spanning the globe. In this case, because we know the story will be spanning more than just the globe, it'll be spanning the multiverse with multiple timelines. You can imagine what they're going to do is tell us which Earth we're on, you know, Earth 616, Earth 828, Earth 10,005, and then underneath that, we'll get a running countdown clock that I assume will be all the way out to the decimal, and it'll say again, 3 days till Doomsday, 2 days to Doomsday. Now, what they're drawing on here is the actual real-world thing called the Doomsday Clock that's set up by a group of scientists that measures our countdown basically as metaphorically a 12-hour clock and how close we are to nuclear annihilation. They say that currently we're 89 seconds to midnight. That's how close we are with nuclear armament on the Earth. And while that is a political discussion for another video and another channel altogether, this is drawing from that idea of a doomsday clock, but instead of nuclear armament, in this case, it's dealing with incursions. Presumably, Doomsday is the incursion and the destruction of the 616. Or with it, the entirety of the multiverse. When we get to Doomsday, the multiverse will collapse, and Dr. Doom will be able to create Battleworld in its stead, and in fact erase all the memories of the tenants that came before it in all of these timelines, so that no one will have ever known or remembered anything before Battleworld. That's what this countdown is ultimately to, and if we're truly starting with 4 days till Doomsday, 2 days till Doomsday, it's going to set up this real 24-hour feel where we're more going through the events in real time, and the movie is only going to take place over the span of a couple of days. And to be honest, for a multiverse saga that spanned the better part of a half decade in the MCU, in contrast, that's actually a really good decision, and as a narrative vehicle, putting that kind of countdown or compressing a huge story into a short amount of time actually helps to create a lot more drama and suspense, because you know you're speeding headlong into doom that is literally right around the corner, pun totally intended. And look, maybe Doomsday shouldn't have been such a mystery. Maybe we should have known, based on the Jonathan Hickman run, Time Runs Out, and then the following Avengers Secret Wars, that Doomsday truly was the day of an incursion in the 616, or the day that the multiverse collapses. Of course, those were always options for the title meaning, but I've got to be honest, and since it was announced back at Hall H San Diego Comic-Con, I've always taken it to mean it's Doomsday, literally possessive, D-O-O-M''S, Doomsday. Yeah, they're calling it Doomsday because that's a thing, but they're also saying, hey, this is the day that Doom arrives. This is Doom's arrival, Doomsday. Obviously, maybe I was looking a little too far into it, because this confirmation saying, hey, it's just a countdown till Doomsday, till the incursion, makes a lot more sense and is right in line with the way that the Russos have made their movies in the past. Now, the idea that Reed Richards, Beast, and Shuri, heroes from 3 different timelines, would all team up to make this piece of tech that could track the impending incursions makes me feel like that there might actually be some established history between these characters before the movie even starts. And I've been thinking this more and more recently about why they specifically put the post-credit scene that they did in Thunderbolts, because they may look to pick up with Avengers Doomsday and get all of this, hey, we're from this Earth, this is our superhero team, cool, we're from this Earth, this is our superhero team, Fantastic Four, meet the X-Men, meet the Avengers, meet the Fantastic Four. They may get that all out of the way and super early, or they may choose to have a lot of that happen already off screen, so that when we get to the film, we can already pick up with the story and see these characters interacting, and they're just going to assume we know as the audience, hey, Monica Rambeau ended up in the 10,005, presumably the 616 heroes went looking for her, they linked up with America Chavez, say America Chavez was able to send Wong and Captain Marvel to the 10,005, the X-Men timeline, to get Monica Rambeau. They brought her back, but when we see them all on screen interacting, they may already be on a first-name basis. We may already get to see the Fantastic Four and the new Avengers having caught up, again, interacting without their introductions. And maybe we don't need to see some of that on screen, but I think the big deal here is that Marvel Studios has so much story they need to get through in Avengers Doomsday. They can't possibly spend the entirety of Act 1 just introducing our heroes to each other, heroes that we all already know, and explaining what's going on, because we all already know what's going on. When you hear something about, say, Reed Richards, Hank McCoy, and Shuri all working together to create this Doomsday timer that we presumably will see from very early on in the film, that tells me that a lot of that connective tissue, some of this introduction stuff, has already gone on off screen, and that's probably for the best, because us, the viewer, we already know who all these heroes are, we already know pretty much what's going on. They need to get into the meat of the story and explain Doom and what his motivations are, a la some of the details shared during this video. But you guys let me know all your thoughts down below in reaction to any and all of this, if you like this idea, if you think it's logical, and if for you this is the explanation for the title. I'm all ears as always. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. Alright, we're still giving away PlayStation 5s at the channel. The next one is for Wonder Man. We'll also be doing giveaways throughout the holiday season. All you got to do, be a sub, leave a comment, because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. Find me on all platforms, Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. You can also find me on all other platforms with original music under the name All Fires. And if you want to catch my band live in Tampa next month on November 15th, there's a link down in the description and comments for tickets. About half the room is sold already. To those of you who have messaged me and told me you're coming out, awesome. I will see you there. To the rest of you, grab your tickets early if you plan on coming to the show, or I'll see you in the next video. Peace.